Hello guys, this is Octavius with Summit City Traditional Archery. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In this video, what we're going to talk about is how much should I cant my bow? How much should you, the traditional archer, cant your bow? One of the things that you need to know straight up is that this is up for debate across social media and across the world. Everybody has a different style, but I'm going to make it really easy for you. It depends on your bow, and it depends on what you're doing with that bow, okay? So what does that mean? If I'm shooting this longbow right here, this longbow, you can see the grip on it, right? You can see it has a little bit of an index grip, a very fine, elegant grip. When I grab that bow has a certain way it wants to be shot. So if I stand to the side like this, okay? If I stand to the side like this and I raise my arm up, that's how this bow wants to be shot, okay? That's the cant. Just raise it up like you're picking up a pail of water. Look at that severe cant in that longbow. Now let me grab this bow here. Now if I grab a recurve, Samick Sage, my wife's bow, see that? Has a little bit of a palm swell to it. Has more of a pistol grip like a compound. Look what it does. I grab it like this. I put it to my side and I raise it up. Look. See the difference? The way my hand is on it, it naturally wants to be like that. So that's why you need to make sure that your bow is being shot the way it's designed. Now, I will say that you can shoot a compound more straight up and down, because look at that sight window. That sight window, which is this part right here, is part out of the riser that's cut out. You can see the shelf right there. This is pretty much a center shot bow because it's a recurve. They want to do a crossover from a compound to a traditional bow. Okay, so this right here is more like a compound shooter. This is why this was made, in my opinion, because it shoots fast and the riser is similar weight and style to a compound bow. And so you have that right there. Look how big that is. That's this part of the riser, so you can look down the string. Now look at this one. Look how small that is. There's your difference. So you have to cant this one more so you can see, versus this one, you don't have to cant as much. You can almost shoot that straight up and down. So no matter what you choose when it comes to canting your bow, one is going to fit your style more than the other one. I typically shoot a longbow because I started on that. I didn't start with a recurve. I got recurves later on in my bow hunting career. This one I got early on. I got a longbow and I got several other ones like this one. So I always shot longbow. It's a more forgiving bow, but also can be more difficult to shoot right off because it's not as similar to an actual compound bow. Okay, let me pick this compound bow up to show you how it's similar to a recurve. Just a second. Look at this old bow here. Look at this. Look at the similarity to it. Very similar to the design of that. Okay, so that's why it's so essential. You know, if you came from a compound with sights, you might want to go with this, because when you go with this is going to be similar to what you've been shooting. Okay, now like I said, go with a longbow because I prefer that, but that doesn't mean you have to go with that. You can go with what's ever comfortable for you. Now, another thing about canting your bow is this. When you cant your bow, it depends on what you're doing. If I'm up in a tree stand, I'm canting my bow about like that. If I am shooting close to a target, even if I'm in a tree stand or a deer blind, I'm still shooting more of a deep cant because I want to make sure I can open it up. It goes more and more and more and more and more and more and more like that, the more further out the target is. okay? And so it depends on if you're shooting downhill, what angle you're shooting at, if you're shooting from a deer stand or a blind, whatever it is. You could be target shooting. All that affects the way you cant your bow. But typically, you want to go off of standing to the side like this, raising your arm up, boom, there's my cant. That's it. This bow falls, loves to be sitting right there. If I shot it like this, I can, but it's not as natural as letting it drop and going by right there. Okay? So your grip is so essential, and the way the bow is made by the bowyer is so important to how you cant the bow to begin with. And a lot of guys don't talk about that. If you're shooting a recurve, it's not going to cant the same as a longbow. And if you shoot a longbow, it's not going to cant the same as a recurve. And also, longbow to longbow might be different. You may have an index like this. You can see this indexing right here. You can see the way that this has got a curve on it. That right there is going to shoot different than the ASL, American Standard Longbow, or a hill style bow that's very square. It's going to shoot a little different because you hold it with your bow arm a little different. So it's going to feel different, I should say, when you shoot the bow. And so it's essential as a bow hunter or as a traditional archer that you choose which one's going to work for you long term. I would say whatever opens up your sight window the best and it feels good, start with that. There's so many options out there, but I wanted to give you a brief understanding on canting your bow. Canting your bow, to recap, is this. It depends on your bow, and it depends on your shooting style, and if you're shooting target or if you're hunting with it. It depends, okay? So you want to make sure that you know that and go with what works best for what you're doing with the bow. All right, guys? So I want you to remember something. You don't have to get ready when you stay ready. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.